Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we're here in 2023, or you guys are in 2023. Hopefully I haven't messed up when this video is going live, but it's the start of an all new year. But for us, we've still got some series to finish out here on F1 22, of course. We're back once again with the Belgian Grand Prix here from our F2 Teo Porcher career mode. If you missed out on yesterday's video, probably one of the maddest videos I've ever done on F1 22. Just an utterly bizarre race, and when you consider it was only 9 laps around Belgium, if that isn't enough to convince you to go back and check it out, I don't know what quite will. But currently, though, a 10-point lead over Felipe Drugovich in the Drivers' Championship. Jack doing their 78 points back in P3. It is certainly still really only a battle between myself and Felipe. It's just a case of when, rather than if other cars are going to get knocked out of the title fight. But just 3 rounds to go once we leave Belgium this weekend, so points are absolutely essential here right now. Let's get into it, though. Belgian Grand Prix feature race time.
And we're back for today's second sprint race. We've reversed the top 10 on the grid and the drivers are almost set. This is looking to be a thrilling conclusion to the end of day 1. As we're now moments away from the off, let's take a look at the grid order in which they'll start today's race. Teo Porcher has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position. And it's Jack Doohan in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Deruvala for sure, Amaury Cordial, Sargent, Sato, Bullock-Passy, Williams, Felipe Drugovich, Hauger, Awasa, Yuri Vips, Fittipaldi, Lawson, Nissany, Caldwell, Clement Novalak, Hughes, Boschon, Armstrong, and Frederick Vesti completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's get down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Well, last week then it was MP Motorsport that bookended the grid ready for the feature race. This weekend, ART have done it. We are starting on pole here at... oh, dearie me. Why? It's dry to wet to dry for a 13-lap race around Belgium. Are we going to see it get close enough? Again, of course, you know, if you didn't watch out that video, I mean, it did go live last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if you missed it. Yes, there are going to be more and more dad jokes in 2023 across the channel, but yeah, if you missed out on yesterday's video, of course, there are no intermediate tyres in Formula 2. It's either dries or full wets. Often, though, when we see the rain coming in late on in the day, it can actually appear beforehand when we get into Grand Prix, but definitely medium to soft then is going to be the way to go. If it doesn't get wet enough, we're going to need that extra tyre grip, of course, late on in the day. But 13 laps ahead of us then once more around this circuit. Looks like everyone is on the alternate strategy, which I guess isn't the alternate strategy anymore. But yeah, not often do we start from pole in this series. Let's try and make it count today. Well, luckily then, Mark hasn't warned me about any weather coming in then as we go around the formation lap. But are we going to see some bizarre strategies coming in again today here in Formula 2? Got to try and build some heat into those rear tyres. We're ready for the start. And yeah, it's I think only the 3rd or 4th time I've started from pole this year. And of course, one of those was reverse grid all the way back in Bahrain at the start of the championship. But this is a huge opportunity to pull big points out on Felipe Drugovich as well. So got to be really, really careful early on. Even if we just lose a place to Doohan or Deruvala at the start, we've just got to focus on having a clean race today. Is waiting on those 5 red lights back at Spa-Francorchamps. Lights out and away. Oh, I've hit the anti-stall, but we've got away with it, as it looks like it is going to be Deruvala. A magnificent start from P3 on the grid there, straight to the outside. We've been hit in the rear up on the run towards Ten Wonder, and that's kind of launched us back to the inside of the Indian driver there. As side-by-side, ART versus Prema as we head down in towards Eau Rouge Rallion for the first time in this Grand Prix, and Deruvala will just about snap through, with still definitely running a little bit higher wings than the rest of the field. There is Deruvala, a bit hesitant up to Rouge Rallion on this opening lap, but despite the higher downforce, the slipstream round here, oh so important. Here comes Sebastian Vettel style as we head towards the end of the Kemmel Straight there, but unlike Seb, whoa, not able to make it through there, and Deruvala kind of just parks it on the apex. We get a bit of wheel spin there as we try and put the power down, and Doohan, Cordial and Verschoor will all say thank you very much there. Might be able to get back at the inside of Verschoor off the exit of the next corner there, as Amaury Cordial seems to either be right at the front or right at the back in this F2 series there. But yeah, Cordial just about hangs on as we head down the hill there, around the outside of Richard Verschoor. Slide the car as we head through No Name. But yeah, perfect start for J.N. Aruvula then in this Grand Prix. Straight into the lead from P3 on the grid there. Got to the outside of the source and just made it work. There's already, yeah, top 4 quite actually spread out at the start of this one. Doesn't look like Drugovich has made any particular notable progress a bit further back there. I'm sure today he's just going to be trying to pick his way through and potentially waiting, if the rain does arrive, for the right time to box there. You know, we know how wise Drugovich is, of course, one of the older Formula 2 drivers with a very, very level head on that young Brazilian's shoulders. But as we head out in the final couple of turns, we are going to be able to use the higher downforce there to maybe get a bit closer to Amaury Cordial as we head up in towards the final couple of turns of this opening lap there. Mighty close behind the Van Amersfoort cars. We'll look to the outside. He's going to try and squeeze me, and way too late on the brakes there. We might just have nudged the grass. Whoa! As Richard Verschoor there swipes across me, perfectly within his right to do so. I just wasn't expecting him to be there. So P5 then at the end of lap 1 there, as Logan Sargent tries to pull alongside me. Will he be able to dive it in towards the first corner? We'll give him room on the inside, but hopefully we can out-traction him as we head down the hill there. Again, 2 laps in a row, we're going to be side by side in towards Eau Rouge and Raidillon, but who's going to come out on top in this one? Neither of us willing to back out there, side by side with Logan Sargent round the outside as we head through Eau Rouge there. Luckily off the line, you kind of avoid the bump on the inside, and that will mean we hang on to P5. Another chaotic start to the Belgian Grand Prix as here comes Jem Bollock-Bassey to the inside of Logan Sargent. That was they're both gaining on me. Sato trying to get into the mix as well as Cordial defending from Verschoor. There are battles absolutely everywhere here as Cordial again will try and hang Verschoor out to dry. This time round, the young Dutchman will slot back in as Bollock-Bassey makes the move on Sargent. Oh, Amaury Cordial there, big mistake down at the end of the back straight there, up the Kemmel Straight. Towards the next couple of corners, and Richard Verschoor say thank you very much, straight up then into P3. Can we have a look round the outside of the Van Amersfoort car? Yes, we will. I'll be honest, the AI do seem to be a little bit broken through that turn 8, I want to say it is, of the lap there, as we try and give Amaury Cordial some room off the corner there, side by side as we head down in towards Pouhon. Surely this one's going to be a done deal, but no, Cordial still trying to hang it there, but won't have the downforce and the grip to keep up the inside there. But that's worked out beautifully for Richard Verschoor, who's just pulling away slightly up the road. Of course, a bit of a weird weekend as well, where we never actually used the sort of medium tyres yesterday. We don't actually know what they sort of handle like, as rain now 10 to 15 minutes out, so we could still see rain by the end of this race. Is it worth just trying to hang on the mediums and hoping that it gets wet enough? Oh, this is so difficult, I really don't know. Well, about to start lap 5 then of this race. First car into the 159s. We are really flying along at the moment. Like I said, I feel like the AI are running way too low downforce around this track, so they're mighty, mighty quick up the Kemmel Straight, but through Sector 2 and corners like Pouhon and Blanchemont, they're losing bags of time. Eau Rouge is another great example. Like I said, I think there are a few corners where they're a bit broken, to be honest, on F122. I shouldn't be gaining that much. I'm up against 103 AI this weekend, for those of you that always ask. I run normally between 101 and 104. We shouldn't gain that much on Richard Verschoor as we head up the Kemmel Straight there, as, a little bit of a lock-up. I thought he was going to be running off the circuit then, but Richard Verschoor cadence brakes beautifully into the apex there. Plenty of experience on the young Dutchman there, so knows what to do in that situation, or knows how to give himself a fighting chance. As again, look how slow they are through the hairpin there. We will continue to gain, but not able to make anything happen just yet on Verschoor. Yellow flag's out, someone's got issues. I think it's a car behind us. Can't quite look on the minimap just yet as who is it going to be. I think it might be our teammate, Fred Vesti, out of the Belgian GP there. So he has been Mecha Chromed this weekend. Not for the first time this season as well, if I remember correctly. But look how much we're gaining on Richard Verschoor. He actually runs wide to try and get defensive for the final couple of turns there. And Fred Vesti out. Oh, again, big lock-up though down at the final chicane. Won't quite be able to make the move this time around, but if we can stay close to Verschoor out of the final corner, and especially obviously up the Kemmel Straight next time round, there might still be a chance to go for something, as team's talking about pitting already. Yeah, still just going to wait a little bit longer, see if, there's not much cloud change as well. But, I mean, this is Belgium. We know what the weather can be like around this circuit, of course in its own little microclimate, but in towards Rouge and Rally on that time around. Look at that. There's no way we should be able to get that sort of run on Richard for sure, though. I think the AI run too low ride height and just skid up our Rouge, so we will wave goodbye to Richard for sure then, and comfortably now up into the podium places. Jack Doohan 3 seconds up the road, Jay and the Ruvela 5 seconds up the road, but we are flying. This should be another new fastest lap then, 59.2 that time around. Of course the AI are getting quicker and quicker as well. It's just the way the mediums and the hard tyres work in these cars. Fuel burn is really the big decider of pace actually in Formula 2, at least on the F1 game. But yeah, we're just taking a little bit of time out of the Ruvela and Jack Doohan up the roads. Fastest laps of the day. I mean, look at that. There's only one small blend over the bump. And we can pretty much take the rest of our Rouge and Rally on completely flat. So it's a bit of free time that we're gaining, but of course they are running a lot quicker in a couple of parts of the circuit. But overall, we have definitely got the pace right now. Right, team on us in then at the end of lap 8, and there is definitely a little bit more cloud cover coming into the Belgian Grand Prix circuit, but yeah, it is going to be close actually. I wonder if the team have got any more updates.
We're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes.
I don't think we're going to see rain by the end of this one, so it might be a fair fight between Ruvela, Doohan and myself then, in towards the final few laps. I'd love to kickstart the year with a race victory, but still, Ruvela 4 seconds up the road. We're going to need some worldies late on. Got to sort of grit our teeth, get on with it, as of course every position we gain further cements our lead over Drugovic in the championship. It allows us to have another bit of a nightmare that has, you know, sometimes happened in this F2 series up to now. So we might get rain on the very last lap then here from Belgium, but it's not enough to risk strategy changes or anything like that. We might, however, be able to do, though, is slow up Jay and the Ruvela ever so slightly as we head through the pit lane there. We might be... I think we might just be ahead of him before he's ready to come off the jacks, but I'm saying that, I don't even know whether Prama's pit box is further down the line than ART, so we'll wait and see as we head into the pit lane here. But Jack Doohan, of course, third place driver currently in the championship, certainly should be able to close up to him by the end, but Ruvela into the pits, Jack Doohan into the pits as well, and look how much time we've gained just on pit entry. Make sure we get the car slowed down, which we just about do. So Richard Verschoor then is going to take the lead of this race. Of course, Prama's the first box. They're always winning Formula 2 series, so that's no real surprise there. Doohan just... when do I get green scores on the pit entry? That never happens on F1 22 there, but 4.6, let me go. No, we're getting held. No, we're not. We're okay. Somehow just get out ahead of Amory Cordeal. But yeah, I think we're not going to come out in traffic either, so we're looking pretty safe at the moment. But Doohan and Ruvela have definitely pulled away a little bit. We've got to fire up the tyres and really just do basically 5 qualifying laps to the flag. All the other cars into the pit lane then at the end of lap 9. So yeah, no one really going very far on a set of softs to the checkered flag, but we should be back up into P3 unless Richard Verschoor has found a shortcut around the Belgian GP circuit. But yeah, I mean, tyre warm-up, we have really nailed it on this opener there. Jembolek Bassi, new fastest lap of the day, going to re-emerge and looking quite comfortable in P5, but 4 more laps to go. 1.2 seconds up to Jack Doohan. That's pretty much immediately going to come under a second. Less than 3 seconds to Jay and Ruvela at the front of the field. We are really motoring on these softs, but will it be enough? So yellow flag's out. Someone else going slowly behind us then. Is it Jembolek Bassi? Or is it another car? Of course, it doesn't really matter to us. Fred Vesti's already out of this race. I think it might be Richard Verschoor's teammate down at Trident, Callum Williams, out of this Belgian GP there with just 3.5 laps to go. It's a very long walk back to the pit lane from that part of the circuit as well, but we're more focused on the gap still coming down to Jack Doohan in front of me here as we head up in towards Blanchemont. We're always gaining time through here, even in the slipstream. Still able to take this corner flat out on a set of the soft compound rubber. As the AI still, for whatever reason, blending out there again. I wonder if it's the low ride heights and the low wings that meaning there's a bit of a bump potentially that they're getting really scared of. But look at the way we're able to attack through the final couple of corners here as we head out of the final turn. 58.1, new fastest lap of the day there. Not quite as quick as we managed yesterday. I think final lap we snook it in to the 157s, but surely now, as long as I don't do anything stupid up through Rouge and Rally on, we're going to be able to get a run on Jack Doohan, and we've got to use this to launch ourselves closer to Jay and Ruvela at the front of the field. Then look at the speed! Jack Doohan, we have to take off the circuit to avoid him. we will lose a bit of time because of it off the corner there, but we'll still get the DRS. And we gave up the place again, and now we're going to be able to fly past him anyway there. It's how Slow was doing up the Camel, well, up around Radion there, of course, onto the Camel Straight, and round the outside we'll go through the next chicane there, of course, at the top of the hill. And now there's one car between me and the race lead here. It is Jan Ruvela, who's led this race pretty much from the start. Can we get back up to the Prema car before the lap times tick out? Oh, I think we've got some rain. Yes, we have. Rain has arrived with just over a lap to go then of the Belgian Grand Prix. So is this going to give us Kimi Räikkönen, Lewis Hamilton 2008 vibes as we're heading through the middle sector for the penultimate lap in this GP? Could we now see a big surprise as we head in? Whoa, that's immediately not quite the right line through there. Lucky we can catch the slide quite early, but is this going to benefit us with our higher downforce, or are the AI going to be a bit braver as we step into the unknown here? Just one more lap to go from the Belgian Grand Prix. I guess the good thing is our fastest lap bonus point should pretty much now be in the bank, as don't hit that curb through Blanchemont. I feel like curb avoidance is going to be key into the final lap of this GP, but anything can happen now as we start the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix here. We've seen changeable conditions before around this circuit. It happened just yesterday. We've got another car going slowly though. This time around I think it's one of the Charoux, so I want to say that's Fittipaldi going slowly there, so he's not going to see it through to the checkered flag by no fault of his own. That sounded like a bit of a roast of Enzo Fittipaldi there as we start the final lap down towards Eau Rouge and Radion, still trying to take it pretty much flat out there as we get the car nicely between the curbing. But yeah, track doesn't feel like it's getting too slippery just yet, so we can still pretty much attack with our dry lines there. That Charoux is still going, so I've just given stick to Enzo Fittipaldi about not making it to the line, and it looks like he's going to try and do everything within his power to do so, but we really need to concentrate as we head through this final lap then. There is a golden opportunity to try and take more time out of Jan Ruvela if we're brave, if we're quick, and most importantly, if we're consistent there. As you can just see, 3/10 taken out of him through that one corner alone, but we're often gaining time through there, really opening up the circuit as best as possible as we head down in towards Pouhon here for the final time. 5th gear on the way and tip it through. A little bit of understeer as there is more and more rain dripping onto the circuit here in Belgium as we head through Fagnes for the final time there. Just trying to get the nose rotated where I need it. I'm not convinced unless Ruvela does something crazy now that we're going to get close enough to really have a chance in towards the final few corners there. Open up the car, run the inside wheels right up towards the white line as we head out of Savolo for the final time here. We are going to get quite a good run, but still 1.3 seconds back. Surely Ruvela has done enough here today to get, I think that's his 2nd or maybe 3rd win of the year for he and his Prema team as we head through the final couple of corners. It's been a valiant effort to try and close back up the time towards the end, but Ruvela took the lead on lap 1, never has looked back there under increasing pressure from Théo Pourchaire. Ruvela will win the first race of 2023. We will come through for P2.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That's a fantastic performance from Prema. It hardly looked in doubt. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Although the Formula 2 cars are all the same spec, the winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition of track. They made it look easy out there today.
As we look back on a thrilling race here today, we can now see the drivers take their places on the podium. It's a familiar sight by now, as it's another successful F2 win for Prema. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Teo Porcher can celebrate tonight as his championship lead is extended even further. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Marcus Armstrong. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
On to the teams then. ART have extended their lead over the championship. Another team that will be satisfied with this race is Charouz, whose good result moves them further up in the championship. There will be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you'll join us at the next race when Formula 2 returns.
Well, there we are then. Jay and Aruvula back on the top step once more here in Spa-Francorchamps. Only 0.6 of a second between us when we crossed the finish line there. Give me one more lap. I felt like I would have had a chance. But Jack doing again another consistent P3 for the Australian. Beats out Vashor, Jembolek Bassi, Cordeal, Sargent, Hauger, Sato and Felipe Drugovic rounding out our top 10 there. So big points lost for Felipe there. Fittipaldi did make it to the flag, just Williams and Vesti that didn't see the line there. But you can see championship, 28 points now the gap has opened up to with just 3 rounds, 6 races to go of the season. Is the championship battle for Felipe Drugovic just starting to fall apart there? Daruvula jump Sato, Vashor and Sargent jump Armstrong, Williams and Dennis Hauger in what is still just a titanic battle going on further down the roster. Amory Cordeal now finally gets ahead of his teammate Jake Hughes there, and Ollie Caldwell as well has been relegated back into P19. Constructors wise, 26 now the lead at the top there, but again, UNI Virtuosi, they are going to be big threats come the end of the season as well. Charouz jump High-Tech, Van Amersfoort jump Dams as well, rear at the field. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back tomorrow, hopefully with more F1 My Team. 2023 I feel like is going to be a big year. You guys certainly want to be around to see it. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.